Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a little while, guys. Obviously, the holiday happened, and then, awful sickness happened. And I was coughing a lot, and my throat was really dry, as you probably heard from the last pitch video. So it's been a little bit. Sorry for that. Just had to get well. I wasn't camera ready. Wasn't camera ready. Anyway, we're back again. Last time we did the pitch was last Wednesday, and it was a pitch for. It kind of ended up being a trilogy, sort of, following up the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 scenario. So anyway, now we're going to jump to Dream Warriors. Docking. Dream Warriors, as you know from my ranking, is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. It was just something. The first original was always great, but yeah, there was just something about the Dream Warrior concept and all that, which was just really neat. So we're going to do a proper follow up to that movie. So we're just going to ignore the Dream Master happened. Although I didn't mind the Dream Master, it was just kind of killing the Dream Warriors off in like 10 minutes. The first movie that sucked. The rest of the movie wasn't bad, and I liked the concept of the Dream Master, but it was just one of those things where it's like, why did you kill these three characters? It's like, I know you couldn't get Patricia Arquette back, but like, you still had the other two. And Kincaid was awesome. All right, so by the end of the Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Nancy and her father are both dead. And so all that's left is Kirsten, Kincaid, and Joey, and Dr. Gordon, who, played by Craig Wasson, who I was a big fan of. A movie that he was in called Body Double, long-term fan. If you've never seen Body Double, it's a Brian De Palma erotic thriller. It's really fucking good. Really fucking good. Me and my brother used to watch it a lot as a kids, and like we actually spent one time watching it because we'd seen it so many times, counting how many times he says thank you in the movie. 26 times. We're that kind of dorks. But anyway, so I always liked him. He actually is, if you look him up, he actually is the official voice for Stephen King's books on tape, or whatever it's, I don't know if they're on tape anymore now, but he's basically handpicked for doing the on tape or on recording for Stephen King's book. So he got himself a nice little voiceover career there. So way to go, Craig Wasson. And he was kind of being teased as sort of a love interest for Nancy in the third one. They didn't go full tilt with it, but it was definitely, the seeds were there. And then at the end, you had the little light come on in the house, the model house and all that, and playing, yeah, Freddy ain't dead. We're not really going to kill Freddy now. We're making money. So anyway, following up Dream Warriors, how do we do that? Let's see. I would actually bring Dr. Gordon back. I would actually have them still start in the hospital. Let's play in the hospital a little bit more. Freddy is gone, though. Freddy's gone for now. We're not going to bring him back right away. I mean, we're going to explore it a little bit before we bring him right back in. And we're not going to have a dog piss on him, piss on his grave. That was definitely a hell of a way to bring him back. But yeah, I would say that all of them are still kind of coping with, Nancy's death and all that, because she had meant so much to them and all that in the short time that she knew them, of course. Technically, Lawrence Fishburne's character is still alive too. So, but we didn't do that much with his character though. So, maybe he could pop up. I don't know. Maybe he got a promotion the fuck out of this hospital. So anyway. There's still, of course, the other doctor who's, a bitch, who doesn't believe them that this happened and all that. And just, she wants to actually try to bring charges against the doctor because she thinks he's responsible for the other, patient's deaths and Nancy's death and all that stuff. Which, the facts obviously speak to it. He does, obviously, the charges don't end up getting pressed and all that. But yeah, they stay there for a few more, weeks to kind of cope and kind of get things under control and continue to focus on their dream powers. The three of them continue to work on being in the dreams, even though they're not in the dreams with Freddy at this point. They're still kind of, harnessing their skills and all that. I would introduce a couple more characters just to kind of let other people who had maybe been if they weren't haunted by Freddy themselves, maybe there was some connection there. Just because you gotta up the body count, right? Get some more characters in there to kill. So anyway, but our main three characters would still be these three characters. Dr. Gordon would still be connected to them, but he won't be a main focus. He'll be there at the beginning and stuff like that. So anyway, as somewhat happened with Dream Masters, Kirsten's still kind of concerned that Freddy will come back. She doesn't really believe that he's dead, and with the power that he had in the dreams and all that. So she's constantly trying to get these other guys like ready with their powers. Kincaid with his strength, Joey with his voice, and of course her skills as well, being able to pull people into dreams and all that stuff, and kick some butt. So yeah, there. But of course, much like in the fourth one, Kincaid and Joey are both kind of like, oh my god, can you stop pulling us into dreams? It's like he's gone, he's dead. It's let him be. It's like you don't want to, start thinking he'll come back. Now how do we bring him back? How does Freddy come back in this film? Besides pissing on his grave, because obviously I said he was put to rest, he was buried. So that means something's got to happen in terms for him to come back. So this is a tricky situation of how you bring him back from the dead. So without having a dog piss. So I would say, what if we had some idiots? Sort of to go a little bit on the Jason Lives thing a little bit. Without the, main character going. But let's say we have some idiots who just like, you hear the tales of Freddy Krueger and all that. This town knows about it. The people in the hospital know about it. There's the tales of Freddy Krueger and all that. It's like, oh, I hear he's buried in this junkyard here. So you get a bunch of dumb kids who go up and start, maybe they play with a Ouija board or something. Some kind of stupid shit. Some kind of ritual or some dumb shit. It can be fleshed out later in a future screenplay, But yeah, so basically that's how it's going to how Freddy will come back, is that because you have some dumbass teens who are just like, oh, I ain't scared no Freddy Krueger. Yeah, he's dead. We ain't going to do nothing and all that. And then, his hand can come through his bony hand can come through the thing, and then, their power and their belief, because now they're like, oh, I bet he ain't nothing. And that will green him back up, and then he'll be able to, he'll kill them in live action there, obviously they're not dreaming at this point, but because of this, he raises up, he kills these meaningless kids or whatever. They're just there for the cannon fodder. They're not important, but they are the ones that kind of brought him back. So then, right now he's out in the real world. So now he's reborn, and Freddy's reborn. His skin starts to grow back and all that stuff. And now he's going to target, more kids. He's like, I can go on this path again. I can, and so we kind of play off of him being sort of out of the dream world a little bit, at least at the start, So now they've been training. Kirsten and his Dream Warriors have been training for this whole. We're gonna have another dream fight with this guy. How are we gonna put him to rest again, in case he comes back? But now it's like, oh shit, we gotta, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 situation. Now he's out in the real world and he's targeting other kids. He doesn't immediately go after them though, because now he's going back to his roots a little bit. He's looking for little kids to mess with, so he can kind of go in their dreams and all that. So he kind of goes in and out. He kind of goes in their dream, but then he fucks with them because he's like, I can come out of the dream. He's got this new kind of power, this new kind of thing of being able to jump from the dream and all that. And so they think they wake up from their dream. They think they've escaped him, and he's right there and kills them. So this is the bodies are piling up. And now they're trying to figure out what the hell they. So they go and meet with, Dr. Gordon and say, what are we going to do now? Because, before it's bad enough he's in the dreams. Now he's actually out of the dream. How are we going to kill him? Because how are we going to put a stop to him? We don't have Nancy here. Nancy's gone. We don't have any way of stopping this motherfucker, Excuse my language. I just cursed on here. Oh my God. Anyway. So they start to come together. So they start to train some other patients and all that. And what they do find is they do kind of find someone who can, it's kind of about pulling him back into the dream now. Because he's been in and out of the dream world a little bit. He's been doing some things. You've got the cops coming after him and all that stuff. And he'll kill a couple cops and all that too. Just, like I said, up the body count here. We're going all out. We're going all out here. Because in a sense, this should be the final movie. This is where we're ending it. 4 movies in. We've had the first, we had the second, we've had the third. This is where we're ending it. And maybe you can kind of go with a sort of a Dream Master kind of thing. Someone who can really stop him and all that. And you could go with a relation, but I don't think we'd have to have someone being related to him like they did with Freddy's Dead. You could go that route, but I think it's more interesting if you don't. Now, I'm not going to have it be Alice just because that's too. I'm trying to stick with just original characters and not just be like, oh, I'll just pull Alice in here. Because at least with Nancy, when I brought her in the other one, she had already been established. So, Alice hasn't been established yet. So we're not going to bring Alice or any of the other characters that were in Nightmare on Elm Street 4 in here just because, we're trying to keep this fresh and original right now. So, in terms of how they're going to stop him, I think it would be interesting if they were able to trap him in the dream world in sort of the nightmare of his own making sort of thing. So what that all entails, of course, is still kind of up to interpretation and, time to really flesh it out in your mind and all that stuff. Like I said, these pitches, sometimes I just come up with them sort of on the spot. I'm an improviser. It's just my natural technique. But yeah, I think it would be a big fight. Maybe one of them would die, or maybe Joey would die or something like that. Sacrifice himself. But I think Kirsten needs to definitely survive, and you got to keep Kincaid because too many black characters get killed off, in these horror movies, and goddamn it, Kincaid's awesome. But maybe he gets wounded and all that stuff. We can certainly have that, but but I would say that Kirsten will help this other character who, like I said, we're not going to name them right now, but. Will have some kind of connection to Freddy. Doesn't have to be relation, but like something that she can see, like how we can trap him, how we can get this son of a bitch to really just be stuck. So stuck in the dream world, but like stuck in a dream world where he has no power. So he's stuck in this sort of box, this sort of dreamlike box, essentially, where he's constantly surrounded by people hounding him and saying how worthless he is. Kind of like those teenagers were at the beginning, like, you're nothing. Oh, you're just some goof with... without going with the it thing of like, insulting him until he feels small. Sort of that kind of thing without it being goofy. So not like the Pennywise thing where he shrinks down and all that, but like, just like he's trying to trapped in this kind of thing of like, basically made to feel worthless. So you're nothing. You're not a monster. We're not scared of you. It's sort of that kind of context without it being completely Pennywise type thing, So yeah, he's not going to shrink down. He's not going to, but like he's stuck, like it's a constant loop of people saying we're not scared of you, and he can see some of the faces of his victims and all that, and then he's kind of maybe put in their perspective of like seeing them kill him the way he killed them, sort of that kind of mindset and all that. So essentially that's how they do it. They'll have a dream master that will be able to trap him in this box in a nightmare of his own making. So constantly hounded and haunted himself by what he's done and what's being done to him. So that would kind of would be my kind of pitch or whatever. It'd be the way to kind of end things. As far as what you call it, I'm not sure exactly. I'm not so much on the title so much. You can call it whatever the hell you want, really. Final Nightmare, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I would say that way, Joey can be like the sacrificial of the Dream Warriors. He can die. Kincaid can get, decently injured, but we don't kill Kincaid because Kincaid is fucking awesome and love Kincaid. And Kirsten needs to survive too. But like, I think that would be the ultimate thing. Maybe the Dream Master the person that's the Dream Master ends up dying too, or is able to give her power to Kirsten or something like that, to help them really truly defeat Freddy, so that Freddy is literally stuck in a nightmare of his own making, as I said 3 times already. I've said it 3 times. So that would be my pitch for a final Nightmare on Elm Street following the Dream Warriors, following 1, 2, 3, and on 4. That's it. So that would be if we followed up Dream Warriors. So my next pitch after that would be, of course, following Dream Master and stuff like that, in a better way than Dream Child did. Like I said, I had someone who had left a comment on the thing. It was just like, I think all the sequels are awesome. I'm like, hey, that's totally fair. Like I said, I've said before, I can watch any of these movies and still have a good time. That's how most of these type of horror things are. It's not so much that all of them are great or all of them are perfect, but I think that the thing with horror too is like, unless something is truly awful, like unwatchable, like not even fun or easy to make fun of, then like I can usually watch just about any of them and all that. I mean, I have my favorites. Obviously, Dream Warriors is my favorite, but I can watch Freddy's Dead. I can watch Dream Child. You know, it's like I can even, if I had to, I could watch the remake if I had to. I try not to because it's pretty bad, but it had its moments. I think there were some ideas in the remake that were interesting. So yeah, I guess the next pitch after this, I'm not sure exactly when I'll do it this week. Maybe during the week I will. I haven't decided yet. I want to have some time to flesh that one out because it will be a Dream Master follow-up. So that would tie into a fifth movie, which just like I did with Halloween, I'm basically trying to. This is it. This is the end. Kind of the final Nightmare on Elm Street film with whatever we do with a follow-up to whatever film we're following up, whether it's 6 films, 7 films, whatever. This is it. We're ending it. That's it. Now, when I get to the remake, I might stretch it into a trilogy or something like that. But yeah, as far as that goes, that would be my basic pitch for a Dream Warriors follow-up. Bringing back some of the Dream Warrior characters and finding a way to truly put Freddy away in his own nightmare. Now, as far as what I'll do in the next one, I'm not really sure. I just kind of came up with that one. So, cool. Hope you like that idea, guys. Hope you like this pitch. We did get a new subscriber, so we're at 21 now. Excellent. Awesome. Keep up the views, guys. I enjoyed that. We got a decent amount of views on that last one. And hopefully we'll get some good views on this. So, happy nightmaring. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. And I will be back soon with another pitch. And then once we get through Nightmare on Elm Street, then we'll hit Friday the 13th. That'll be fun, too. All right. Cool, guys. Have a good night.